I know it says it in the title, but just to warn you ahead of time again, this video will contain spoilers to the final boss fight and Hyrule Castle around it. So I died quite a few times getting through Hyrule Castle, and as you can see in the top left, I don't have all the Divine Beast abilities unlocked yet, because I hadn't done the very last one, which was the volcano one. I mean, I have now, but that's after I actually beat Calamity Ganon in Hyrule Castle. And yeah, like, I stumbled across Hyrule Castle while looking for like items, and you see here I'm fast forwarding through my journey up Hyrule Castle, and it was pretty epic. Like, when you get to the castle, for the first time you get there, there's a cutscene, but this was the second time I was there. You get there, and then you got like a map similar to a Divine Beast map. You have a map in the bottom right that you can also pull up, and you can see sort of the location that you're at, and you can run through the castle, and you got to find your way up. And at some points it's really difficult. Like, you'll need to avoid getting locked on by some of the sentry turrets that are defending the boss arena. And if you have I think it's called like Rivali's Gale or something, the one that lets you fly in the air, it becomes a lot easier to get up here and take on the boss. So when you enter the room, you're greeted with a boss before the boss, and it was strange. So like I said, I'd come to Hyrule Castle before, and I'd only done 2 of the 4 Divine Beasts, and there were 2 bosses before I got to fight Calamity Ganon. But in this case, I had done 3 of the Divine Beasts and come here, and there was only 1 boss that I need to fight, who's FIREBLIGHT Ganon. And this boss isn't that hard. Like, if you have a ton of, like, I stocked up on a ton of bomb arrows coming here, because bomb arrows can just take him out really, really quickly, and are really efficient. And so I took him out, and I'm thinking, like, is it gonna let me do this? Like, I never thought originally, like, it would even let me get to the castle, because I hadn't like finished all 4 of the areas yet. And then I got to the castle, let me go in the castle, and I'm like, whoa. And then I started looting some things. I got some really powerful weapons that were just lying around. I was like, okay, this feels like somewhat of an exploit. But then I realized it just lets you take on Ganon no matter what level you are. So technically that could lead to some pretty good speedruns, and I'm sure there'll be some people who are really good at dodging and are very good with their equipment and would be able to take on Ganon right out of the start of the game. So after beating FIREBLIGHT Ganon, which again wasn't that difficult, it threw me down with Calamity Ganon, and this was at first a pretty difficult boss fight. It turns out all the Divine Beasts do, they just take off a portion of its health, which is really useful, because if they didn't, I'd have to take off a lot more of his health. But it's not as efficient as I would have thought it would be. Honestly, actually, I didn't think they'd do anything. I just think they'd be a necessity before advancing in the game to the final boss fight, but they weren't, and it was just something that helped you. So I guess I'm glad they helped you anyway. But basically, Calamity Ganon, it was hard to approach him with a weapon, and so like, it took me a while to beat him, and I couldn't really figure out once he transformed to his like fire invincible state, since I couldn't hit him with the bomb arrows anymore, or any arrows for that matter. I found it difficult to beat him. I wasn't sure what to do. I was like, yeah, I'm probably not supposed to be here anyway, so it's okay if I don't defeat him on my first try. But then I realized I could use Urbosa's Fury and disable his shield and make him vulnerable, and then run up to him and actually be able to melee him and quickly take off a bunch of his health. So I did that, I chipped away at him, and I eventually actually beat Ganon. But after you beat him, and this I didn't know, there's actually another boss, and I thought this boss was going to be a lot more difficult, but it actually really wasn't. It throws you on a horse, and then Zelda gives you a light bow, and you're able to run around, and Zelda contains the beast, and he never really attacks you unless you're standing right in front of him. But if you just like run with your horse around the sides of him and then shoot your bow up at the vulnerable areas that Zelda will reveal, you're able to take him out pretty easily. The boss fight was pretty epic though. It was really cool, the music was awesome, the mechanics were pretty cool. Like, I like the boss fights in this game. I'm pretty used to Mario bosses because I've been playing a lot of Mario when I used to have the Wii U. And it was just like jump on the enemy 3 times basically, and that was how you defeat a boss. But this obviously isn't that, and it actually requires a lot more planning and skill involved. So I was really happy with the bosses in this game, and after I beat the final boss,
Finish him, Link!
it gave me a cutscene, which was interesting because it was short, It really just showed Zelda being happy, and at the end it showed like the spirits disappearing, all 4 of the spirits from the divine beast that you saved, and then the game ended. And I heard there's a secret cutscene, which I won't spoil in case you haven't heard of it yet, but apparently if you do everything before you defeat Ganon, you'll unlock a secret cutscene, like all the memories, all the divine beasts, and a few more main quests. I don't really know exactly how to unlock it. But once I did beat the boss, it said the end, and then it threw me to the main menu, which I thought was a little strange. And my only option was to hit continue, and then reload my last save before I beat Calamity Ganon. So it was really weird. It put a little star next to my save, which I guess means that I finished the game, but I'm still living in a world where Calamity Ganon isn't defeated, and I still have that little quest in my main quest area. So I'm not sure if that'll ever go away. Maybe in DLC it will go away, and I'm not sure yet if I'll even get the DLC. I might. This game is fun enough where I might consider getting it. But it's strange not having an endgame, a time after you defeat Ganon. And I googled it, and apparently that happened to everyone else. At first I thought my game had glitched or something. But it just seemed a little bit lazy. Like, I don't know, I would have liked, maybe like, they don't have to change the map or anything, but just have a storyline where Ganon is defeated. But I guess that would have been difficult, because they designed everyone in the world to talk about Ganon, everyone you come to, I don't know. But yeah, that's how I accidentally beat Calamity Ganon. I just came up to Hyrule Castle before finishing the main quest that I thought I had to complete, and it turns out I didn't have to, and I ended up beating him on my second try. So that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you thought of the final boss fight. I thought it was really fun, it was really challenging, but it was pretty epic at the same time. Tell me in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.